Welcome to Comic and Screen. My name is Sam Otten. With me is Jason Book, and in this video we're going to continue our coverage of the Batman ongoing series. This is Batman number 6, written by Tom King. We've got art this time by Ivan Reis, and the pencils were Prado, Albert, and Hannah sharing duties there, and we had colors by Marcelo Maiolo. So this is the epilogue to I Am Gotham, and this is really the one-shot that's focusing on Gotham Girl. So last issue, Gotham Girl's the one that had to pull herself together and actually take down her brother Gotham, and so now we see the fallout of that, and it's this kind of, it's structured throughout the week. So we see the days of the week, we see what she's doing. She's talking to her dead brother throughout the issue, and it's kind of an emotional issue. There's some nice appearances from some obscure villains slash kind of newish villains. But mainly, you know, the heart of the story is Gotham Girl and Batman having his empathy for Gotham Girl. So, Jason, what'd you make of this kind of epilogue, you know, putting a little cap on the Gotham Girl storyline?
I thought it was pretty good. It was definitely effective in what it was trying to do. It felt kind of like a standalone issue in a way, maybe something to kind of pad the scheduling for the new books for DC, but not in a filler way at all. It definitely hit hard with the emotions in the book. I did like the artwork, although I'm just a sucker for like that, you know, let's have the same artist on as much as possible, because I was really drawn into the way that Finch had been drawing all the characters, but it really dealt with some realism to a lot of the superhero stuff, which is always welcome. And there were some definite things in there that I was surprised to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we'll get to the heart of the book, but I just wanted to react to the stuff you said about the art, because I also like when an artist can kind of, you know, stay with it and have a very nice, cohesive book all the way through a story arc. But I think it was pretty impressive that David Finch did what he did through 5 issues, because they were coming out about every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I think it was nice that we got the main, you know, story with Finch, and now this epilogue. I think that's an okay spot to put in a new artist, because that new artist can kind of just take us through Gotham Girl's week.
Yeah, for sure.
And I did think it looked good. I mean, there was a, you know, full-page spread of Gotham City, and Gotham Girl kind of floating over it and saying, you know, it is kind of beautiful at night. And I just stayed on that page for a while, because that was an amazing page, like the layout of the city, the colors, how they all work together, and Gotham City always being a kind of a character in these stories. So I thought that was really great. And I thought I liked a lot of the layouts and stuff that they did throughout it with the different villains who we might mention here that popped up throughout the issue. But I thought the art was good on all of that.
Yeah, Ivan Reis is no stranger to detail. He's done Justice League and Green Lantern, drawing a lot of characters, so he definitely has a style that lends itself to those kind of spreads like you're talking about.
Yeah, and then he can also do the emotion. Like, he got good facial expressions on Gotham Girl and stuff, so he's a really pretty strong artist.
Yeah, for sure.
So, speaking of the villains that make the appearance, so let's talk about those, and then we'll kind of talk about Bruce and Gotham Girl and their emotional thing that went on. But we had an appearance of Colonel Blimp. We had the pirate guy who was making people walk the plank, and then we had Kite Man. So what'd you make of those appearances?
I don't know. To me, they kind of like smack of the old TV show or something like that. They're kind of silly, kind of adding things, but I you know, it's kind of neat that they're throwing in characters you don't normally see, maybe to add a little bit of levity into you know, such a serious issue, right?
That's how I took it. I took it as the contrast of Kite Man coming in and yelling Kite Man. Like, that moment, I think, made the emotion that came a few pages later even stronger because of the contrast.
Yeah, totally. It did work well that way.
Yeah, and I liked the design on them. The characters really kind of popped off the page, and they each had their own style to it, and it just really used the comic book medium well. Like, oh, this is a great like image of this character, the colors for each of them, and their actions. So I thought it was fun, and like I said, a contrast to the emotional art.
Yeah, the coloring, on a side note, has it been the same guy for the entire run, I think? Because it's been quite strong, the coloring, if it is.
I agree it's been strong, but I feel like Maiolo, I don't think, has been the name each time, so I'm not sure on that. Yeah. But let's go to the main stuff. So Gotham Girl, you know, it's really her emotional story of dealing with the death of her brother. Her parents have also been killed, you know, in the arc, so pretty intense for her. At first, the first couple pages, I thought, like, oh, Gotham Girl, she's got some personality, she's kind of talking. And then after a few more panels, you realize, like, oh no, wait, she's actually pretty troubled. Like, this is a facade, and the talking to her dead brother is actually just a sign of her kind of illness and her trying to deal with it.
Yeah, I think this is a cool way to show like a PTSD type thing in comics that you don't really see enough. In the stuff that I'd be working on when I'm thinking of my own characters or things that I would always draw, I'm always trying to give it that kind of what would really happen. And we don't see Batman do that very often. I'd kind of like to see that the odd time because he's seen some crazy stuff too. We're all human. So it definitely lends itself to some good storytelling with this kind of thing happening, and Batman being able to relate to her and empathize with her and basically calm her down and all that kind of stuff. It worked. It was quite effective.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was really good storytelling, and yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head because we're watching Gotham Girl go through this, but we realize Batman is also going through that same stuff, but he just doesn't maybe show it in the same way that Gotham Girl was.
Yeah.
But yeah, they definitely touch on that with Tom King's writing because Batman asks Alfred, like, did you help me? Like, how do you help somebody that's going through this PTSD like this?
That's right.
And, Alfred's like, I'm not sure if I really helped you because you still go out in a costume and jump off into, go into near-death situations all the time.
That's right.
And so that's Batman still not really dealing with it, with the loss of his parents and all the stuff that he's seen. And Gotham Girl's going through the same thing. So I think all of that brings it together to the end to... I think it was a very emotional and effective ending when you do have the two of them come together and they realize they are going through something similar and they can be there for each other.
Totally, yeah. And the guy is impressing me as a writer, tackling stuff like this and showing a different side of Batman that we haven't seen maybe in the comics for a while is always a cool thing. I mean, there's so much to play with there because when his parents died, part of him died, so maybe that's why he doesn't quite lose it as much as some other people does because part of him can't go to that place anymore. So that's an interesting story beat as well.
Yeah, so overall, really good issue. And like we've been saying, Tom King has already had some high highs. Not every single issue has been a masterpiece, but I think overall he's had more strong stuff than he's had any weak moments.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to see what he's doing next with this. I guess it's the Monster Men arc coming up next.
Yeah, so Night of the Monster Men with Nightwing. There's going to be a little bit of a crossover. And then after that, Tom King's going to have this suicide mission with Amanda Waller. And I wonder if that is going to, so that might lead to this Justice League Suicide Squad event that's going to be happening at the end of the year.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested in that. Apparently the new Suicide Squad book's been decent, and I kind of wonder about the timing with some of this, why they didn't have this coming out during when the movie was out. But anyways, it should make for some interesting reads.
Yeah, and I think maybe this is, the movie is still in theaters, and maybe this is people that have seen the movie and then they look to the comic shop and they can say, oh, next month a Justice League Suicide Squad event's happening. So maybe it's kind of like trying to catch them after they've seen the movie.
Yeah, it could be pretty cool for sure.
Yeah, so all right, some good stuff happening in the pages of Batman. I look forward to this Night of the Monster Men, and I've been reading Nightwing as well, so I'm going to just kind of follow that whole crossover there.
Right on, sounds good.